Hi, friends. Coach Allie here. I just wanted to come on today and share a little message with you, kind of a theme that's, it keeps coming up within client sessions. And yeah, it's such a common theme that I thought I'd come on and make a little video about letting go of the fight. This is something that really happens gradually. It happens gradually as we consciously interrupt the loop and move towards the discomfort in a way that feels safe and doable. And it is in this way that we increase our capacity, that we build our capacity. So our window of tolerance, our tolerance for discomfort expands. And this is incredibly helpful to bring the nervous system back to homeostasis, back to baseline, out of fight or flight, out of survival mode. And what happens sometimes, I see this happen with clients, and it happened with me too. So I so understand. We want out of this predicament so much that we start doing a lot of things in order to end or escape or avoid or be out of discomfort. And while that is such a, a human understanding, like of course nobody likes to be uncomfortable. Nobody prefers, discomfort over comfort. It's a human propensity. It's human inclination to want to seek comfort. The only problem here with what's happening in a nervous system that's stuck on high alert mode, stuck in hypervigilant mode, a very sensitized nervous system. Basically, we're kind of stuck in fight or flight. And what happens when it gets into that point, that realm, fight or flight is stuck on the on switch. We're in a hypersensitized nervous system. When that happens, we have a conditioned response. We have a neural loop. It's the same thing. A conditioned response, a neural loop are the same thing. And you can call it conditioned fear response or conditioned stress response. It doesn't matter because it means the same thing, but it essentially is a learned response. And because we have responded in such a way that has signaled to the brain that something is off, something's amiss, something's a potential threat, it doesn't take long for the brain to really kind of put this antenna up and start scanning everything inside us, outside of us, everything. It's starting to notice every little sensation, every little thought, every little emotion, and tag that as dangerous, a potential threat. And these become loops. These become conditioned responses. And so part of moving out of this, out of the sensitization, out of the chronic fight or flight energy, is to understand what is happening in your brain, and that this is not a flaw or a defect or it means something is intrinsically wrong or you're broken. Not at all. It actually is evidence that your brain is working exactly the way it has evolved to do, and that is to protect you and to keep you safe. Now, in this particular instance, of course, the brain there's a misunderstanding because it is misunderstanding something that is innately safe as dangerous. That being our own internal experience, whether that's our thoughts, our emotions, or physical sensations. Your brain is interpreting all of this as threat, as danger. And so there's a loop happening, right? And so now it's just automatic. We're not doing anything. It's just looping. And it feels like we are on a perpetual, never-ending perpetual cycle. Like it feels never-ending. I mean, that's sort of the definition of a loop, right? So The way to move out of this is it's pretty counterintuitive because this sense of urgency is part of your biology. It's part of your brain trying to get you to pay attention to this thing, whether it's an emotion, a sensation, or a thought that it's communicating through. It's trying to get your attention on this matter at hand. So I work primarily with insomnia, chronic pain, and anxiety. And if that's what your brain has tagged it as its primary threat or primary token, we can call it as well, that it is making sure that you hear its message by giving you these very uncomfortable thoughts, feelings, and sensations. It's just a communication. When we can see that, we can disarm ourselves so that when we have this very uncomfortable hyperarousal symptoms come on, the thoughts, the emotions, the sensations, we want to understand that it's just a message. And we want to acknowledge that message because it's not helpful to ignore it. The brain will just get louder in its messaging. We want to acknowledge the message. We want to allow for it to be there, allow it to exist. And this is one of those harder parts because it's counterintuitive. We feel like we should stop it. We like fix it and, manage it, and somehow it shouldn't be happening, right? All of that is the energy that put our brain into this fight or flight in the first place. It is this energy of fear of I have to fix, I have to control, I have to manage, I have to, make sure that everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to be happening. If it's not, something's wrong. So this actually is what confirms danger to my brain. And then the loop is going to continue. So in order to interrupt the loop, we have to let go of the fight. This idea that we can force a different experience. It's going to keep us stuck because we can't force something. We can't will our way out of fight or flight. We can't will our way out of a sensitized nervous system. We actually have to gently and safely feel that within our bodies that we're going to be okay, and move that level of intensity from this fix it mode, this sense of urgency mode, and move that dial down to, okay, these are messages from a scared brain. It doesn't make them true. I don't have to respond as if it is a threat, as if it is an emergency, because it actually isn't. How I need to respond is acknowledge the message, allow the discomfort to exist, and then redirect my attention and my focus. Because hyperfixating on the discomfort is only going to amplify it. We can't will ourselves out of these states. We have to feel our way out with a felt sense of safety. And that's kind of a full mind-body experience. And it happens slowly. It does happen slowly. But it starts with a conscious choice between the stimulus, so the stimulus you can think of as the discomfort, and our response. In that little space, we call it the sacred pause, there is a choice that we make about how we're going to respond to that discomfort. And that is where our power lies. Our power to change, to redirect, to lay down some new neural pathways. It takes time. It also takes intention. But more important than almost all of this, it takes a softening. It takes a letting go of the fight. Releasing the bracing, the forcing, the resisting. Moving our intention towards that and away from the resistance. I hope that makes some sense. I hope it's a little bit clarifying. If you need any extra support, please know I'm here. One-on-one sessions, I can always, meet you one-on-one. We can talk more. Thank you for taking the time to listen.